Let us close the eyes for a moment. With deep love, let us remember God and the Masters. We will offer our prayers. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect us all. May we enjoy food together. May we meditate and pray together. May we attain wisdom through our study and discussion. May there be peace within and everywhere. Om. Amen. I bow to one formless God. I bow to all the saints and sages of all times and places. Humbly, I bow to lineage of Kriya Yoga masters, feeling presence of divine within each one of you. I bow to you all. Good evening and welcome to our discussion on the series of lecture on the topic components of Kriya Yoga. In our previous class, we had discussed the history of Kriya Yoga, many references from the scriptures about Kriya Yoga. We also discussed definition of Kriya as well as basic principle of Kriya. And then we came to discuss about the word yoga. More than 32 meanings we discussed. To continue our discussion on this word yoga, today we will discuss a little bit more about the definitions from various scriptures. Last time we discussed the definition from Yoga Sutra, Atha Yoga Anushasanam. Yoga is discipline. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the elimination, annihilation, and suppression of the modifications of the mind, otherwise known as thought patterns. Then we discussed Drashta Anushravik Vishayaihi Yoga Viyoga, separation or rejection or negation of association with what you see or listen is yoga. Yoga milanam sacha vakshyamana drashtu drashyayoho ekatva rupam. This yoga is union between seer and the seen. Apraptasya prapti yoga. Yoga is to achieve what is not attained. Now, today we will discuss a little bit more from other scriptures. From Bhagavad Gita, you can find three definitions of this word yoga. If you read second chapter, verse number 48, Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Siddhi Asiddhi means, Siddhi means success, Asiddhi failure. Samobhutva remaining balanced, having maintained the Samatvam balanced state is known as yoga. So abandoning attachment to success and failure. Here success and failure also indicates the pair of opposites like happiness or unhappiness, in heat and cold. So to remain balanced, maintaining equanimity in pairs of opposites is known as yoga. Another beautiful definition in second chapter, verse number 50 from Bhagavad Gita. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga is the art of working skillfully. What does it mean? Working skillfully does not mean the skill of an engineer, a doctor, or an architect. It is the skill means with proper consciousness, with how much love you perform your duty. So every action when we perform with love for God is yoga. So that is called karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Another place in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, verse number 23. Lord Krishna is defining yoga as dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam. That state of separation from union with misery is known as yoga. Suppose a person is suffering because of a disease, because of some problem. So when we get detached, when we get separated from that problem, because first we are united with the misery, with sorrow, with sadness, with the problem. And when we separate ourselves with an effort, then it is called yoga. So that separation from union with misery is also known as yoga. If you read Jnana Sankalini Tantra, in verse number 61, first 61, Lord Shiva is explaining to Mother Parvati, Sarva Chinta Parityagaha Nischintaha Yoga Uchyate. Yoga is the state where giving up all thoughts, one is established in a thoughtless state. Means Sarva Chinta Paritya. Chinta means here thoughts. So when you abandon, you get rid of all the thoughts and you become Nischinta. Ni means without, Chinta here, thought. When you become thoughtless, that is the state of yoga. Further, if we go by some more definitions, in Sankhya Darshan, Sankhya philosophy, it is said, Purusha prakrityoho viyoge api yoga iti abhidiyate. Understanding separation of Purusha and Prakriti and establishing Purusha in his own form is yoga. Because in Sankhya philosophy, we talk about Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha means God with attributes, the creator you can say, and Prakriti is his creative power, Shakti. So when we understand this separation of Purusha and Prakriti, they are one. But when there is manifestation of this entire universe, it is because of the play of Prakriti. And when there is no manifestation, when everything is an unmanifested dimension, then Prakriti and Purusha both are merged together. Just like in India, we have some classical dance. One is called, like, let's say, Bharatanatyam. So when the dancer is dancing on a stage, making different movements with the hands, hand gestures, there are different mudras. So dance is manifested. But when the dancer is not presenting dance, where is this dance? It is with the dancer. You can say it is not manifested, not projected, but it is within the dancer. So also Prakriti is like dance, and it is manifested only when it is projected. So Purusha and Prakriti, when we understand the separation of Purusha and Prakriti, one is eternal principle, one is ephemeral principle, which is Prakriti, and then establishing Purusha in his own form is yoga. Vishnu Puran tells yoga sanyoga iti uktah jiva atma paramatmane. Complete union of individual soul with supreme soul is yoga. So supreme soul is nothing but God the absolute, and individual soul is part of partial of that divinity. So when we come to that state of complete union with divinity, individual soul merges with supreme soul. This is the state of yoga. In Ayurveda, there is a scripture, Charaka Samhita. So in Charaka Samhita, it is mentioned, Yoga Moksha Pravartakaha. Yoga is the path to liberation. If somebody wants to be liberated, to attain realization, then yoga is the path. Let's go further to discuss a little bit more about the definition of yoga. There is another scripture, Yoga Bija. In Yoga Bija, it is said, yoga is said to be the unification of the web of dualities, which is known as Dvandva Jala. Because this entire universe is based on duality. So duality like day and night, pleasure and pain, happiness and unhappiness. So unification of web of dualities is known as yoga, because we are united with any one of them. And remember, if we are uniting with happiness, unknowingly we are also uniting with unhappiness, because they come together in turn. You cannot say that one can remain happy all the time or remain in misery all the time. So Yoga Bija. Then Brahmanda Purana tells yoga is said to be control. When we control our mind, when we control our senses, so this is also a definition of yoga. Raja Martanda. This is another scripture. Raja Martanda tells yoga is the separation, which is known as Viyoga. Viyoga. So yoga is the separation of the self from the world ground, and that is called Prakriti. When we know self is Purusha, again it is similar definition. Self is considered as the Purusha, Puryam Shete iti Purusha, which is soul. And this world is Prakriti. So when we understand that the soul is different from the play of this three or triple qualities of the nature, then we are establishing yoga. Yoga Shikha Upanishad. Yoga Shikha Upanishad tells yoga is said to be the unity of exhalation and inhalation and of blood and semen, as well as the union of sun and moon and of the individual psyche with the transcendental self. So this has same concept, exhalation and inhalation. They are considered with sun and moon. And that is why in Hatha Yoga also, this is compared with sun and moon. So how it is sun and moon? Because the right nostril is solar channel, left nostril is lunar channel. So when we watch the breath or move the breath between the right and left nostril alternatively, then that inhalation and exhalation process, it is nothing but pranayam technique, alternative pranayam, anulom vilom pranayam. So that is called yoga. Then after discussing yoga, let me tell you two subdivisions of yoga. There are many different types of yoga mentioned in various scriptures, and some of them we have already discussed. But I'll take you to Yoga Sutra, because the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali is the most authentic text on yoga. Anybody practicing yoga is always referring to this text. So in Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, you can find various types of yoga mentioned, although mainly Sage Patanjali is explaining Kriya Yoga. But apart from that, if we separate the divisions or subdivisions of yoga, We can find reference to many different yogas, classical yogas in Yoga Sutra Patanjali also. So I am giving the references. For example, Raja Yoga, which is also known as Dhyana Yoga. Raja Yoga is mentioned, which is main yoga for meditation or realization. It is based on our breath regulation also. So if we say about only Raja Yoga, then complete Yoga Sutra talks about that, because to do pranayama and then go to samadhi through dhyana, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, trayam ekatra, sanyama. So these three together is sanyama, taking us to a state of samadhi. If we talk about Jnana Yoga, which is Sankhya philosophy, so Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga, it is telling experience of self. Again, it is complete Yoga Sutra talks about that. If we talk about Karma Yoga, so Karma Yoga means to be detached and to perform selfless action. And that is mentioned in Sutra number 24, first chapter, and 7th Sutra in 4th chapter, 4th book. About Bhakti Yoga, which is devotion through surrender to God. So in the first book, Samadhi Pada, Sutra number 20, 23, 28, and 36. And then in the second book, Sadhana Pada, Sutra number 44, it talks about surrender to God or Bhakti Yoga. If we talk about Hatha Yoga, which is based on body and breath, it deals with our body to purify the body, purify the nervous system through certain processes, and then breath. So that is in second book, Sadhana Pada, Sutra number 29. Laya Yoga is also, it deals with Raj Yoga. Laya Yoga means it is based on concentration. So that is in Sutra number 36 of first book. Talking about Kundalini Yoga, then Kundalini Yoga are nothing but it is also related to Raj Yoga, where you also regulate the prana, otherwise known as Kundalini. It is same pranic energy in the chakras through breath regulation or through mantra. So that is also related to Sutra number 36 in the first chapter, first book. Mano Yoga is another thing. Mana is mind. So which Mano Yoga deals with Scientism, spiritualism, mesmerism, hypnotism. So that reference you can find in Sutra number 29 of second book. And same thing is Yama Niyama, when it talks about Yama Niyama, which are the universal principles. That is second book, 29th Sutra. So these are the subdivisions of yoga. But just to tell you that Kriya Yoga is the most ancient and scientific and technique for meditation. As we discussed in our previous class, that in the beginning of creation, Lord himself gave this knowledge of Kriya Yoga to first king of solar dynasty, Vivaswani. Later on, from Kriya Yoga, various branches of yoga were developed. But Kriya is the most ancient, and all these which we are discussing, these are the branches or subdivisions of yoga, Kriya Yoga. So like Hatha Yoga, if we talk Hatha Yoga, which is very popular nowadays, taking the aspect of asana, so body postures, taking that aspect, a full system of yoga is developed, which is called Hatha Yoga. Taking the sound aspect of Kriya Yoga, complete Nada Yoga is developed. Taking concentration part, complete Laya Yoga is developed. So all different yogas in the modern time which we see or practice, they are nothing but the subdivisions or part of Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is the most ancient technique of meditation. Now we'll discuss a little more about yoga. Just to tell you, among these various subdivisions, there are 4 which are mentioned in many other scriptures. Which are these 4 which are main yoga in the ancient time? So if you read Goraksha Samhita, which is a yogic text, in Goraksha Samhita, The verse goes like Mantro Layo Hatho Raja Yogantar Bhumika Kramat Ek Eva Chaturdha Ayam Mahayoga Abhidhiyate. There are 4 types of yoga. So again, it is from the ancient scriptures I'm telling. If you talk about the modern time, there are more than 300 types of yoga available in different names. But originally, if we talk Kriya Yoga, and in Kriya also, there were 4 main branches after that. What are these? Mantra Yoga, Laya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Raja Yoga. I'm not going into detail about what is mantra, but just to tell you, Mantra Yoga, you receive a mantra from the master, from the Guru preceptor. You contemplate on that mantra or recite that mantra for trillions of times, and slowly that mantra takes you to the state of perfect concentration and then to meditation, no thought. Laya Yoga is based on concentration, where some concentration techniques are practiced. For example, Trataka, gazing at the flame of a lamp or gazing at some particular point on the wall. So with that, we try to concentrate at one particular point. Hatha Yoga, to purify the body, purify the nervous system, and then practicing some pranayam techniques through breath regulation. And Raja Yoga is completely based on pranayama and meditation. So these are the 4 main subdivisions: Mantra Yoga, Laya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga. If you read Shiva Samhita, which is another yogic text, in the 5th chapter, 9th verse tells the same thing. Mantra yogo hathaschaiva laya yogas tratiyakah chaturtho raja yogah syat sa dvidha bhava varjitah. Same thing. The yoga is of 4 kinds. First, Mantra Yoga. Second, Hatha Yoga. Third, Laya Yoga. Fourth, Raja Yoga, which discards duality. Now, interestingly, in Shiva Samhita, Lord Shiva is further explaining about these 4 yogas to Mother Parvati. Mother Parvati, his wife, is in the role of student, and Lord Shiva is the teacher. And there is dialogue. So Lord Shiva is further explaining that why these 4 yogas are mentioned from the ancient time: Mantra Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Laya Yoga, and Raja Yoga. So he has mentioned because of the 4 types of student. There are 4 categories of students. One is one who is beginner. Mradu, Madhya, Adhimatra, Adhimatratvat. It is explained in Shiva Samhita. Before this mantra, Lord Shiva has explained about 4 types of students. Mradu means mild student, who are very gentle. That okay, if I learn yoga, I might practice sometime. Then Madhyama, those who receive and practice on and off. Then Adhimatra, those who are sincere. That okay, every weekend we go to group meditation, we will practice it. And Adhimatratvat, the most ardent seeker, most sincere. For them, practice is primary. So they will not leave their practice any day. They have to practice. So they are most advanced student, I can say. So according to the level of students, these 4 yogas were recommended. For a mild student, the teacher was recommending mantra. That okay, you chant this mantra for 12 years and then you will get some spiritual advancement. When he is prepared, his mind is little bit more calm, then he was taught Hatha Yoga. So now the student was taught Hatha Yoga to regulate the, first to purify the nervous system through 6 purification processes mentioned in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Neti, Dhoti, Vamanavasti, etc. And then to make the body strong, and after that some pranayam technique. After that, when the student was prepared, when he became sincere, or he is at the level of sincerity more, Then Laya Yoga was recommended. So Laya Yoga means the teacher was giving some concentration techniques like Tratako or some Shambhavi Mudra like that. Then if the student is very advanced and ready, then Raja Yoga was taught. Now interestingly, after telling this mantra in Shiv Samhita, Lord Shiva is explaining about the techniques of Kriya Yoga. So Raja Yoga, he has mentioned as Kriya Yoga there. Mahamudra, Khechari Mudra, and other techniques, they are mentioned. So Lord Shiva is teaching that for Raja Yoga student means for Kriya Yoga student. So when a student was approaching the teacher, looking at the level of student or his understanding, the Guru knew what is suitable, and according to that, the teacher was recommending the type of yoga. So if you see this sequence or order, you see mantra, then Hatha Yoga, then Laya Yoga, and then Raja Yoga or Kriya Yoga. So Kriya Yoga is not for the beginners, according to this. So Kriya Yoga is for most advanced students, those who have practiced some breath regulation, means pranayam, who have made their body strong, who have some concentration, then only they can go deeper into practice of Kriya Yoga and they can maintain it. However, so this is about the classical yoga, 4 types of yoga. Now let's come to our discussion further about Kriya Yoga. Let us assume that we all are advanced students. Why? Because our master has already given us Kriya Yoga without asking any question. Only based on our sincere quest, our request was that I want to learn Kriya Yoga. Okay, you are welcome. That's what they said. So let's assume that we are very advanced, but don't be proud of that. Because for advanced student, who is advanced student? Who is not leaving his practice, who is practice regularly every day. Otherwise, we are not prepared for Kriya Yoga. And that's why learning Kriya Yoga and not practicing, it is most unfortunate thing according to Lahiri Mahasaya. He said, those who get initiation into Kriya Yoga are the most fortunate. And those who do not practice it after getting initiated are the most unfortunate. However, so let's move towards the main discussion of our theme, components of Kriya Yoga. So let's begin with this mantra or the sutra. In Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, second book, first sutra explains the definition of Kriya Yoga. Tapah swadhyaya ishwar pranidhanani kriya yoga. How many words are there? Tapah, swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhana, kriya, and yoga. So out of these 5 words, we already have discussed 2 words, kriya, kri and ya. We discussed principle of kriya, to offer every action to God, every breath to God. To remember God in every single action is kriya. And yoga, we already discussed that yoga, according to Patanjali, yoga samadho, not yujir yoge. Means yoga is not union here in this text. It is samadhi. So we discussed these 2 words. So these 3. Now what is Kriya Yoga? So tapah, swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhana. These 3 words constitute Kriya Yoga. Tapa is meditation, swadhyaya means self-study, and Ishwar Pranidhan means surrender to God. Together, these 3 constitute Kriya Yoga. So these are the 3 components of Kriya Yoga. Tapah, swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhana. Tapa is self-discipline. Now, interestingly, as we discuss the subdivisions of Kriya, subdivisions of yoga, and Kriya, as Yoga Sutra Patanjali talks about different branches of Kriya. So Kriya Yoga, these three words in this definition, they indicate three paths. What are these three yoga or three paths? Tapa means self-discipline or meditation. So tapa is the path of karma, because when you are disciplining your body, your mind, so this is, you are putting some effort. This is path of action, karma yoga. Swadhyaya means self-study. Self means the soul, to know the self, to inquire for the self. That is Swadhyaya, and this is called Jnana Yoga, path of knowledge. Ishwara Pranidhana means surrender to God. This is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means path of devotion. So these three together is the Kriya Yoga. So don't think that Bhakti Yoga is different, Karma Yoga is different, Jnana Yoga is different. These three together are Kriya Yoga. So when we talk about components of Kriya Yoga, we have to understand that these are three main constituents or components. Remember, human mind and memory are complex, restless, conflicting, and infested with strong likes and dislikes. You can analyze. Although God has given us very simple mind, but we have made our life complex. And we live in this world with very strong likes and dislikes. And that is what is the problem. Yoga teaches us to go beyond, to remain completely balanced in likes or dislikes. We have to become free from both. A yogi does not like anything or doesn't dislike anything, but he remains neutral. The path of Kriya Yoga is to filter, polish, and discipline the impure mind, and ultimately to make it an effective tool for realization. Remember, we can't get rid of mind. It is a gift. Mind is given to us. It will remain with us throughout our life. And same mind we carry for next life or life after life, we carry the same mind. So with the mind, we have to get rid of mind. Just like when you have to take out some thorn. So we use a pin, which is another thorn. So using the mind as a tool, how? By practice of Kriya Yoga, we filter, polish, and discipline this impure mind, which is called Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and then ultimately we make it an effective tool for realization. So using the mind, we go beyond mind. Now, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishwar, Pranidhana. These three words, these three components of Kriya Yoga, we will discuss in more detail. Let's come to the first word, which is Tapaha. First component of Kriya Yoga is Tapaha. What is Tapaha? So Guruji has given many different meanings of this word, Tapa. Root verb in Sanskrit for this Tapaha is Tap. Tap. Tap means to shine, to blaze, or to be hot, to suffer, to mortify the body, and to burn. So these are all different meanings of which have come from root word tap. So tapa means to shine, to blaze, to be hot, to suffer, to mortify the body, and to burn. Sometimes you may go to India and you can see some yogis. They bury their head into the ground, or they bury their body into the ground, only head is above, and they are meditating. Some yogis, they put fire around in 4 directions, all around their fire, and on top of the head there is scorching sun, and then they meditate. So this is also tapa. Second meaning, tapaha or tapas. Tapas is the process through which one can burn all impurities and make the mind shine with purity, knowledge, and love. Because if we consider the root for tap means to shine and to purify or to burn. So what to burn and what to shine? Tapa is the process through which one can burn all impurities and make the mind shine with purity, knowledge, and love. Lahiri Mahasaya said, pranayama dahet malam. Practice of pranayam burns all our impurities from the mind. And pranayam is the path of action, tapaha. This is the component which is called tapaha, breath regulation. Another way of explaining tapaha, tapa means penance. Suppose you are observing fast. So it is also a kind of tapa. Austerity is tapa. Purifying activities. Suppose you made a mistake and then you are performing some action to purify your mind. That is also called tapa. Tapa means self-discipline, asceticism. Meditation through breath control is tapa, which we practice in Kriya Yoga. Then Lahiri Mahasaya gave another beautiful definition. Dvanda sahanam tapaha. Dvanda means two. It is pairs of opposite. Like we discussed pleasure and pain, success and failure, cold and heat. So dvanda sahanam tapaha means tolerating. Sahanam, tolerating the pairs of opposite is also called tapaha. Suppose there is too much cold. So without complaining, you just tolerate it. Or it is too hot. Don't complain, but just tolerate it. That is also called you are practicing tapaha. So how many? 4 different ways to understand this word tapa. However, tapa is the path of action. We do some action to purify the mind, to purify the body, or to tolerate. This is all tapaha. In our body, there are 7 chakras. And we all know that in the base of the spine, bottom center, Muladhara chakra, which represents earth element. Second center behind the genital organ in the spine. This is called second center, Swadhisthana chakra, related to water element. Behind the navel is the navel center, Manipur chakra, which is related to fire element. And heart center is Anahata chakra, which is air element. And throat center is the ether element, which is called Vishuddha chakra, behind this Adam's apple in the spine. In between the eyebrows, if you go 2 to 3 inches, approximately 10 to 12 centimeters inside the spine from midpoint of the eyebrows, this is soul center, Agya chakra, which has no element, and fontanelle, top of the head, 10 fingers above the eyebrows. Fontanelle, this is the Sahasrara chakra. And these 7 chakras, out of these, lower 5 chakras, they regulate 5 types of activities in our day-to-day life, and 2 chakras, soul center and fontanelle, are beyond activities. Now, if you see, these 7 chakras are related to 7 higher planes of existence or astral planes. We call it, these 7 planes are mentioned in the Rig Veda, the Gayatri mantra. When we chant the complete Gayatri mantra, which when we practice pranayam, Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Mahaha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam. Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Raso Mritam Brahma Bhurbhuva Swarom. This is the mantra for pranayama. So these 7 are mentioned there. Om Bhu. So Bhu, this is the plane of existence related to bottom center. Plane of existence where all the mortals live. Bhuvaha, the higher plane, where the soul goes after death. We discussed in our previous series of talks about mystery of death. Then Swaha, the navel center, which is Siddha Loka. Then Maha, heart center, Jana. Jana Loka is in the throat center, Tapa Loka, soul center, and fountain is Satya Loka, the abode of Brahman, God the Absolute. So if you see here, where is Tapa Loka? We are discussing Tapaha. Tapa Loka is in the soul center. That means we should meditate staying in Tapa Loka, means staying in the fontanelle, staying in the soul center and above. We should perform our meditative activities. So below this, from Jana Loka up to Bhuva Loka, from throat center to bottom center, this is our world, Prakriti. And above this soul center and fontana, this is the cranium, which is the cave of Brahman or seat of Brahman, God the Absolute. This is called Dharma Kshetra in Bhagavad Gita, and below this, this is Karma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. However, so Tapa Loka is in the soul center. So staying in the soul center, one should meditate. As in our day-to-day life, we see some people keep horse. So as a horse trainer disciplines the horses to be useful in riding, a yogi trains the body, the mind and senses and the breath through different processes known as tapaha. So the body, the mind, the senses and breath, these 4 we regulate and we discipline these 4 aspects of our life, and that is all known as tapaha. Tapaha also consists of freeing the mind, to make our mind free from agitation while passing through the dualities of life, such as heat and cold, hunger and thirst, success and failure, happiness and unhappiness, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. So all these different dualities of life we are passing through constantly. So making our mind free from agitation while going through these dualities is also known as tapa. In Bhagavad Gita, there is elaborate description about this word tapa. There are 3 types of tapa mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, which we will discuss in our next class. So now it is time for meditation. We'll also do some tapa now, breath regulation, disciplining body and mind. Please sit straight. Wherever you are sitting, just keep the spine in a straight line so that the flow of prana, energy, is smooth. Close the eyes. Keep your attention in between the eyebrows. Withdraw your attention from the external world, introverting your senses and mind. Just remain in the soul center. Tapah Loka. Let us begin with observing our breath. With deep love, watch each inhalation and exhalation. You may feel gentle friction with the movement of breath in the nostrils up to the lungs. Becoming aware of your gross or physical breath. Gently shift your attention to the subtle breath. Feel the flow of prana along with the subtle breath between top of the head to bottom of the spine. Don't forget your breath. If any thought enters your mind, immediately move it to the breath. Gurudev said, one breath is one life. As you become conscious of your breath, your mind becomes more calm and regulated. Let us practice some pranayam technique. with deep, slow, and long inhalation and exhalation as per your capacity, you will practice. Real pranayama means regulation of prana through the breath, is to feel with inhalation all positive qualities entering within, with exhalation to feel all negativities are going away. Let us begin from bottom of the spine to top. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Inhale, peace. Exhale, love. Inhale, peace. Exhale, love. Inhale, peace. Exhale, love. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Inhale, love. Exhale, peace. Your body is peaceful, mind is full of peace. Breath is very feeble and slow, as if you are not breathing. Completely relaxed. Normal and conscious breath. Inside the inner space of cranium, remain there. Meditate in silence. extreme calmness, divine blissful state. Bring your attention back to the soul center in between the eyebrows. Feeling of unconditional, selfless love enveloped with peace and bliss. Always maintain this higher state of consciousness in all your activities, day and night, praying for all. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। May all become happy and healthy, loving, noble and compassionate. May there be no suffering or sorrow. May there be more love, peace and harmony among us and in this entire creation. May the blessings of God and Masters be upon us all. Om. Amen. Open the eyes. Thank you all. We'll continue our discussion in the next class about the component of tapaha, then swadhyaya. Till then, meditate nicely, watch your breath. Jai Guru.